Still got a minute and a half. Yeah. Cooler weather's nice, isn't it? This cooler weather's nice, isn't it? Do what? No, because we didn't meet last month, so we'll kick it back off this month. I had to wing it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes it is better just to wing it because it really comes out that you're not, it's not. Yeah. Oh yeah, me too. I'd rather just talk. When I do my presentations at work, I mean, that's I got one in front of about 400 people coming up at the end of this month, so I just kind of in my mind what I'm going to talk about. Yeah. Alrighty, 6:30.
Please rise for the invocation and pledge.
Father, as we come before you tonight, we invite you, Lord, into this place as we conduct business for the city of Statham. Lord, may all that we do be pleasing to you. In Christ's name,
amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would like to call this meeting of the City of Statham Public Hearing and Work Session to order. The first thing on the agenda would be the minute approval. We have the minute approval for August 19th and August 21st for the strategic planning meeting. And we also have the minutes for August 20th for our regular meeting. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second. All in favor? Show of hands. Okay, we're going on to our reports then. And I'm ready for the finance report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. For the financial report today, I'll review the activity through August 31st, pointing out any significant items worth noting. I will start with the city's main operating fund, the general fund. As of August 31st, we are 2 months into the new fiscal year with 9% of the total revenues received. Tax revenues are at 8% of the annual budget. Tax revenue will begin to ramp up in the fall. We have completed the property tax conversion with Harris, and the bills are on schedule to be mailed no later than October 15th. Licenses and permits are on pace for the year at 20% collected. This is due to building permits and building inspection fees. Charges for services are currently at 10% of the budget from community center revenues. Fines and forfeitures are doing well at 15% due to municipal court revenues. And interest income is doing great at 50% of the budget. Miscellaneous revenues are doing great at 26% of the budget due to rents and royalties and open records requests. There have been some significant transfers in from the utility fund. These are mostly for cash flow purposes, and we anticipate transfers above budgeted levels will be returned to the utility fund once the property taxes start flowing in. For general fund expenditures, the majority of the departments are on pace or below their year-to-date budgeted expenditure levels. Additional expenditures will be recorded as staff continues to process August invoices. Some key expenditures that have occurred in August are repairs and maintenance for City Hall renovations and community center improvements, roofing upgrades in Robert Bridges Park. The repairs and maintenance being completed at the community center and the parks are great improvements that will contribute to future revenue streams for the city. Overall, general fund expenditures for the fiscal year are currently at 22% of the budget, which is on pace for the year. For the utility fund, revenues are on pace at 15% of the budget. The utility departments combined are reporting expenditures at 5% of the budget, which is below anticipated expenditures at this time. Additional expenditures will be recorded as staff is processing the remaining August invoices. That concludes the August financial report. Let me know if you have any questions.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Jen.
Police report?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. The August police report is as follows. Incident, we had right over 50. Accident, 3. A total of 3 arrests in the month of August. Traffic stop, 109. Citations, 20. Reports taken, 29. Business and neighborhood check, total of 610. The school camera warning period is over. The school cameras only went hot as of this morning. With that being said, it was 415 warnings issued from the school citation between the elementary school and the middle school, but again, all those was warnings. We still got some issues with Jefferson, but we're working that out. I've gotten with Blue Line Solution and Mr. Sam, so hopefully in the next week, Bear Creek Middle School will be up and going. And again, as always, we appreciate the support of Mayor, Council, and the citizens. Any questions of myself?
Appreciate everything.
Yes, sir.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for everything you guys do. We appreciate it. Public Works Department report. Brett?
Good evening, how y'all?
Good.
Good.
How you doing?
Good. So, we've, got the sewer issue fixed with the community center, got it completed. Got some grading done today on it. Speaking of all the buildings, we've got, a punch list done for the kitchen, I believe today, for here. Robert Bridges is done. We did have to move a wedding over there that was supposed to be here that was canceled. She was very happy with it and plans to rent it more often over there. So she enjoyed the new Robert Bridges, all the work that was done over there. We've done a lot of work over there, cleaning it up, and the contractor's done a great job. Hillman roof is done, the floor is done, the kitchen's completed. Waiting on HVAC quotes, and we'll get that done. And after that, we'll do some painting, and it'll be completed on the inside. And we plan to move to the picnic area and do some cleanup on that pavilion and the picnic area over there. And I'm also got a count the other night, and I've got to get with Georgia Power for lighting at Hillman, which is our biggest area. I estimated about 6 lights that we need to add, and then Robert Bridges probably about 2, possibly 3 lights. And that could be more if we ever plan to extend parking or anything. So all the renovations look good. City Hall is done now. They're just, I think the ladies are just organizing everything. And they're doing this, they did the skirting today. Half of it, and I think they'll do the other half tomorrow. We did receive 4 bids for Dooley Town paving, and they'll be presented at the next meeting, and then we'll proceed once y'all vote on that. We are starting to do some evaluation of trees on Broad Street. We did have a couple limbs fall in some yards off those trees recently. We're going to do some evaluating of those and get some quotes on for some tree companies, and then we'll, I'll discuss that with the tree committee as well. We're starting now that we've got the sewer issue fixed and some stuff called up. We're going to start getting the limb truck back around town. Got some routes there. They did get out 1, maybe 2 days last week, a day and a half maybe. And then I've got to get with CSX and see if we can get this cut ourselves. We're willing to cut it ourselves across down Railroad Street across from Bethlehem Road. It looks pretty shabby right there along the railroad. I've just got to get with them and see. I've been told in the past CSX did not like us getting encroaching in their right of way that closely with equipment. So I've got to get some phone calls out tomorrow and find some information out about that, because we are willing to get that cut and looking nice. We do have the equipment to do that. So, and then Public Works building cleanup is in progress. I'm doing some revamping around there and reorganizing and restructuring around there. Recently, I think it was last week, we had over 100 tires that had just been stacked up over the years. That's picked up around town and this and that. I had a company come in last week and remove every one of those tires. It filled up just about a 26-foot box truck.
Wow.
So all that stuff, no telling how. They were just piled up, and we got rid of them. So
Thank
it
you.
opened up a good area for some more equipment, and we're gonna keep going. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be cleaned up and reorganized. So, and that's what we're working on. So,
Yeah.
any questions?
Sounds
Mr.
great.
Day, is Becky's water turned back on? Is she operational again? The hair salon next door?
Yes, should be. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that building and the community center kitchen the sewers happened to come together, tie together. So she was out of service, as were we. So
Yeah.
that's taken care of.
Okay. Yeah. Glad it worked out for the wedding.
Oh yeah, yeah. They enjoyed it. They actually they said it turned out much better over there than it would have here. So.
They liked it
They
a lot
enjoyed
better.
it. They
Yeah.
had room for a DJ and all that outside, I believe.
Yeah.
We hung lights underneath the pavilion,
Yeah.
and
So
the guys
they-
pressure washed, and
Yeah.
it was an indoor-outdoor wedding.
Yeah.
I appreciate all the
Yeah.
hard work.
Nice.
Oh yeah, lots more to do.
Thanks, Brett. As far as my report, I've been meeting with several people along the way. Some of the things that I have done is working with the local emergency preparedness committee. A lot of my meetings are usually the same ones every month. I just recently attended the first Mayor's Leadership Program through GMA, and it was really a great opportunity to network with other mayors from around the state. And we, at the end, we got to get together with mayors our size cities and talk about things that were happening in their cities and learning some things that could help our city as well. The other thing that I'd like to note that we did was our strategic plan, 2-day strategic plan with the council and the employees. And it was open to the public, so folks could come in and be a part of it as well if they wish to. So, does anybody have any questions on things for me? That is my report for this month. Are any of the committees want to have a report ready to?
The tree committee, I guess I'm going first.
Yeah.
The tree committee, we have a downtown cleanup on Saturday, September 14th. Hopefully the beds will be weeded. It's just going to be laying out mulch. We're going to start at 8 o'clock at the depot. Hopefully we'll be done by noon, and it should be comfortable. Should be cool by then. Our next meeting is the 16th right here at 6:30. Thanks.
I'll talk if you want. Okay. I just want to tell you, we did have back to school Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader trivia this past month. And thankfully the teachers won, or they would have been embarrassed. We have a couple events coming up. There's a calendar on the back, and we're trying to bring back the Christmas parade. That's going to be the big one with the gift market. If you're on Facebook, you can look at Statham Fun, and it'll have like the events and links of where you can apply or get more information.
Anybody else?
No.
Okay. We'll move on to the public hearing and the discussion items. The first one is 1862 Railroad Street rezone application.
Mayor, just for the record, I think that the proper procedure would be for someone to make a motion to go into public hearing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to go into public hearing.
I'll second.
All in favor? Show of hands. Approved.
Good evening. My
Good
name is
evening.
Jacob Sellens with Sellens Engineering at 302 West May Street out of Winder, Georgia. I'm here to represent the owner and applicant for this rezone request from HB or Highway Business to SR1, Low Density Residential. This application actually went before council middle of last year and was ultimately denied at the time. And I believe that's due to the miscommunication on our end. We were not able to be present at the meeting, and I don't think we were able to really describe what we were trying to do and give our argument for this application. If you flip through, I believe you guys are holding the same exact planner's packet. If you flip through towards the end, there's a site plan that shows 8 individual tracks for this property. So we want to have 8 individual lots. There's currently 1 existing home on it that we will keep. So there will be 7 additional homes. We just feel that this is much more suited for a residential development rather than a commercial one. I mean, it's surrounded by residential. You have residential feel in the entire area. All you see is smaller homes, or if you see it in the offices, it's in pretty much a residential house. We don't feel this is something that would support a large commercial development, kind of like across the street for either like outdoor storage or like self-storage facilities. So we'd like to keep it residential, minimal disturbance. This is going to be on septic systems, pending approval from the council. We already have approval from Barrow County Environmental Health for this development. It's a preliminary review that pretty much goes through the requirements of lot sizes, setbacks, distances, long list of requirements that they review. We've gotten the soil test. Soil test is passed. It's perkable for what we're proposing. Each track is actually a bit larger than the minimum lot size for SR1. So each house will have a decent amount of room. And what I think really stands out for this application versus a higher density commercial development is we're not going to be able to clear cut this property. We're going to have to preserve a lot more vegetation than you typically would for commercial development, because these septic systems, we can't go out and disturb the soil, because then it's ultimately deemed unusable, and we'd end up with unbuildable lots. So, that as it stands, majority of the track has a natural tree canopy, trees, vegetation everywhere. So majority of that will stay, and the houses will be placed in, as they can fit. So we just feel that the final product of what we're proposing would be much better than a highway business. And in the last few weeks, I have talked to Jerry Whites, which is the consulting city planner, and he is in full support of this application. He has recommended approval with no conditions. He does agree with our stance that a residential use would be better suited in this area. So we hope that council sees this as well and gives us a favorable result. I'm here for any additional questions, and the owner is also present if we can provide any clarification on anything. And I believe that concludes it. I'd like to reserve any additional time.
I have a question. Sorry.
Yep.
For lot 2, you'll tear down the existing cottage that's there and then build a new house there, or will that stay?
It'll remain. Yeah.
Okay. And then all of the entrances, there won't be shared driveways. Will they have individual driveways?
They'll have individual driveways.
And they'll come off of both Railroad and Broad Street?
Yeah, so there'll be none on Mulberry Street, but there'll be the existing 1 plus 3 on Railroad, and then 4 on Broad.
Okay.
We've as in an engineering group, we just feel that shared driveways tend to cause issues, whether it's meaningful or not.
Right.
I have a question. Do you have any other neighborhoods or houses around that we could take a look at to see what kind of things you're trying to build?
I can certainly send an email after tonight and kind of give a general idea of what we're looking
Okay.
to build.
Thank you.
Yep.
Now, I know before the last time you came, it was going to be a rental property. Are these still the same, or are these going to be?
Yeah, no plans whatsoever for rentals. I
Okay.
plan on building and selling to
Okay.
individual owners.
Okay.
So what price range of homes are you looking at?
That might be a better question.
Okay, on that? Okay, I have another question.
Okay, go ahead.
So this, okay, so the way it is, as far as mailboxes, they're gonna be individual home mailboxes, is that correct?
That's what we'll be trying to do, unless USPS makes us put like a mail kiosk, but I doubt it for this size of development.
Okay, so what would be the guidelines from postal service, or would they be the one to offer guidelines to how you would do the kiosk? Would it be right on the street, would it be offset?
It would be on the, it would be probably offset, maybe 10 foot from the right of way, and we'd have to do like a parking space or not, but I highly doubt that'll happen, and I can try to get some clarification before the voting
The reason
session.
I asked that is it on kiosks like that, if they're on the road or just a little bit off the road, it can present a traffic parking hazard with vehicles coming in, having to drive around in and out of certain places.
Yeah, I fully agree. Kiosk is not a,
So just, you know, I'd be in favor of it being set back far enough to where you can have at least a drive-through, a half circle, whatever, or parking spaces off the main road, for safety.
yep. I have a pretty good GIS contact that works with the Postal Service, and I'll try to get some clarification of what they would require. Yep. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rob, but I believe the price point would be in the 300s.
In the what?
In the 300s.
Oh. Right.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Jacob doesn't represent me. We also, my company also is building Charlotte's Place. You guys asked if we had other places, so we are building that. So these homes I would expect to be slightly larger than what we're doing at Charlotte's Place, just because of the feel of the area seems. So I'd envision craftsmen in the 1,600 to 2,000 square foot, probably with some brick accents like we're doing at Charlotte's Place, or stone accents. I think I just drove down there. I think that would fit in really nice with the neighborhood. You know, it's a street more than a neighborhood, but and that's you're asking about the kiosk. I don't envision that. I think it's gonna, in the end, if you guys approve it, it's just gonna look like mostly it's been there the whole time. It's just gonna be 4 houses on one side of the street and 4 on the other. It's not really a neighborhood per se like Charlotte's Place or something like that. So I think the post office will probably let us put a mailbox in front of each house.
So you looking to build ranch or two-story or mixed?
Ranch mostly, yeah.
Ranch?
Yeah, that's my preference. I mean, I'm not a big, I don't love the box houses per se. I prefer a ranch. I mean, there might be a couple lots where we get challenged, you know, if we're trying to fit it amongst trees, because I like to keep trees and I like to keep houses. You guys know Charlotte's Place. We kept the 3 old houses that were there and built around them. That's the intention here, if you approve this too, is keep the old house. Try to keep as many of those. It's got some nice oaks down there. I want to keep those and have that feeling when we get done that kind of like they've been there for a while, you know.
I'm sorry, what is your name again?
Rob Scott.
Rob Scott.
Size. Any other questions?
No.
Perfect. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Opposition, or if there's anyone else to speak in favor. You'll have 5 minutes and 25 seconds left for rebuttal. So Mayor, that means that we now move on to anyone speaking in opposition.
I'll second.
All in favor, show of hands. Okay. Okay, we're going to move forward on item B, automated gate for the Public Works building.
Good to see y'all again. All right, so we're looking at, and I think you'll have some proposals in front of you for an automatic gate down at the Public Works facility. I believe this will be a good addition for security. That way it's not left open, forgotten to, close behind. It'll be there and it'll always be secure. It's something we can have remotes and keypads to keep everything nice and under lock and key. Any questions about the gate?
No.
If you look, you've got
Three.
paperwork on
Yeah.
different automotive. Do you have one favor over the other as far as these go?
Not necessarily, no. They all quoted about the same equipment. I believe 2 of them out of the 3 quoted the exact equipment.
Wow.
But no preferences. I would just go with best price.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
thanks.
Guess I'll be here.
You better stay here for the remote system for the water tank.
All right, so this, in my opinion, is very much needed. From a security standpoint to a professional standpoint, I mean, this will give you, and this is not just for the water tank. This is a remote access system, app-based or web-based. That will be, it'll monitor your pump stations, it'll monitor your water level and your tank. You can get on there at any moment and see what the water level is in the tank instead of having to drive all the way across town. That'll notify you, that'll let you know if there's problems. It'll call out and send out notifications and alarms. That'll let you know real quick, and you get ahead of the problem right now. We'll be able to, react instead of, right away, instead of having a neighbor call us from down the street. This also, like I said, give us alarms and notifications from all your pump stations, and it'll give you runtime reports. Let us know how long these pumps are running, how much they're flowing. That'll give us, a good maintenance standpoint. Let us know the wear and tear on these pumps. It's a very good peace of mind. It's a system that's very used widespread across the water and sewer industry. And we need to, I believe, from my standpoint, Statham needs to get along with the curve, and get this system in place. There is 3 quotes in front of you. I've worked with 1 out of the 3 for almost a decade. They are a very reputable company, very hands-on. They're local in Georgia. And like I said, these are app-based and web-based. So I can pull out my phone at any moment. You want to know the water tank level, and I can tell you. And you can also get this on the spring when the spring comes back online. Matter of fact, you can add relays in the electrical system at the spring house, and if that spring pump is ran too long, and it'll give me runtime reports, I go on my phone and hit off and turn that well off, or that spring off. If there's any kind of problem, it'll call us, it'll text us, and email us. The other 2 companies are very reputable as well. I've heard of them. I've seen their stuff. I haven't used them personally. But this is something that I would suggest is very much needed from a security standpoint and a water and sewer industry, in the water and sewer industry. It's something we need desperately.
Did you have something like this?
We did. Everywhere I've been employed in the water and sewer industry, we've had a system like this in place.
So you were involved with it?
Yes. Implementing it, adding it in new places when they come online, upgrading it, repairing it. You name it, I've been involved with these kinds of systems.
Anytime it sends out an alarm type thing, it'll come to your phone?
number you put in the system or whatever email address you put in, it will. You can set it up to where it'll send you a text, and if you don't respond to that text in so many minutes, a range that you put in, it'll call you. Or you can just, not even worry about text, it'll go straight to calling you. And it'll call until someone answers. You can put however many numbers in there you want. It's a very, very good system to have.
You have no, how many quotes we have?
We received 3.
3.
There should be 3 in y'all's packets. Missions Communications, they're out of Norcross, Georgia. That's who I'm familiar with and I've used in the past. They are a very good company.
I have a question on that.
Yes, ma'am.
So this other, the Xyle technology or whatever, their quote is substantially higher than the other two. Is there, have you compared the equipment? What's the difference there?
They apparently, that's who does the SCADA now that's currently at the water plant. They're recommending upgrading the computer, because they operate off a computer system that's at the water plant. They're recommending for us to go remote based. We have to upgrade the computer system and all that. So he has to add more technology for it to work.
So that would be something that's basically ongoing.
Exactly.
upgrades. Yeah.
And it's something that needs to be upgraded constantly.
Yeah.
So I would I'd steer clear of that one, but that is an option. They are remote based. He can be remote based as well.
Okay.
So would you recommend, if you were,
If I had to choose it, I would recommend Business Communications.
Any more questions?
No.
Okay, thanks,
Appreciate
Brett.
it.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
And the next report or discussion item would be BP gaming license.
Hi, my name is Justin Alioto. It's A-L-I-O-T-O. My law firm is Mills and Hoops. It's located in Lawrenceville, Georgia, 1550 North Ground Road. I currently am assisting ASR Gas Incorporated doing business as BP. My representation of that entity is relatively recent. It's my understanding that at or about May 1st of last year, ASR had submitted applications for a general business license, alcohol license, and gaming license. That there was a vote on May 7th with respect to all 3 of those applications. The first 2 passed unanimously. The third and final was rejected unanimously. I'm not privy as to who was present or who wasn't in attendance that day, and I certainly don't have a recording of the minutes. But I just was able to ascertain that information from the minutes document from May 7th. My representation came sometime after that. Reached out to the city to see if there was anything specific as to why that third application was rejected. I haven't gotten anything yet. The business entity had submitted recently a new application. We had coordinated that with Mr. Campbell and the city. That has been submitted. If there are any pointed inquiries with respect to the day-to-day operations, the general manager of the business is in attendance today. Other than that, if there was anything specific that, anything on a macro level that y'all have for me, obviously I'm happy to entertain any inquiries. Other than that, we're just hoping that whatever was an issue before has been rectified, and if not, obviously a huge part of my involvement here is to figure out what that is so I can be of assistance to rectify any shortcomings that existed back on May 7th.
Justin, I'm Scott Penn. We've
Yes.
been emailing back and forth a little bit. I apologize I haven't got back to you.
I understand.
Because life kind of gets away from me sometimes.
No
First off, I have a question. Are these going to be Class A or B machines?
Well, it's a B license. In other words, they've already received the Class B location license from the state, from the Georgia Lottery Corporation. So they're going to be Class B. It's not going to be, for instance, like the game you see where like the hook goes down and tries to get the stuffed animal or anything like that. I mean, they'll be standard Class B machines.
So just to fill you in, I know you're not very familiar with this area. You're probably not familiar with the BP at all,
Sure,
but
sure.
that, and Jody has given me full go ahead to discuss it with you, but it was a political decision because the city and the police department have had so many issues out of that store over the years between the amount of crime coming out of it. I mean, just last year, I believe they lost their ability to sell lottery tickets and had the license for the machines pulled by the state. So there's a constant barrage of legal issues over there, criminal issues over there, and it's kind of hard to build a trust with somebody you don't know, especially when it's been going through different owners once a year. So for that reason, we'd rather not, go ahead and give that trust again, because it is in our best interest as a city to make sure none of that crap's happening over there. So
Well,
if he were able to build our trust, I mean, he wasn't even here, I believe, when we talked about it the first time. So,
yeah.
There was no representation of the store that came to see us to ask us for the business lot or for any of it. I mean, we could have easily turned down all three of them, but
Yeah.
we like to have our businesses open here.
Yeah.
But as far as the gaming machines go, if I could outlaw them completely in the city, they would be gone. I also voted that night against a game room at the pool hall, but we needed it to pass because the pool tables were included in the game room license. So, but with this, we actually had a choice. We could shut that down if we wanted to and try to avoid some of the things that have been going on.
Yeah, I understand. And just for the record, I do want to be clear that obviously ASR is a completely distinct corporate entity.
Yeah, I understand
with
that.
different ownership, different management, so on and so forth. As far as the non-attendance back on May 7th, obviously that was a head scratcher for myself when I first got involved, and obviously that was a big part of why I wanted to reach out to the city to try to figure out, what did happen in the company's absence. So I do appreciate you filling me in on that. I mean, at the end of the day, obviously the gaming license, both with the city and the state, it's a privilege, it's not a right. ASR is fully aware of that. But at the same time, the state has looked into the locale. Obviously, they feel comfortable with the situation. As for the city, with it being a distinct entity with new ownership, new management, I don't really know what else could happen to put itself in a position to have the license. I mean, I'm assuming that the city isn't taking a position where there's just, despite the availability of such a license and despite the possibility of having obtained such a license from the state, that under no circumstances are they just ever going to have the games. I mean, I'm assuming that's not the case. So if that is not the case, then if there's anything specific that needs to be presented from ASR specifically, I mean, obviously let us know, so that way it can be distinguished from any other occupants in the past.
One thing this administration has done very well the past 8 months or so is trying to work with some of these businesses around here and just have a sit down with them. If you come build rapport with us, come sit down with us, and if you're going to ask us for, alcohol licenses and gaming licenses, actually be at the meetings, number one. But we have to know that you're not going to have bad things going on at your store, especially at all hours of the night. I would prefer, if it wasn't open 24 or however late it's open. I don't know if they still are open that late, but I know at one point it was open way past midnight, and that was as recent as 2 or 3 years ago. I try not to go out that late at night anymore, but just try to work out
try to work on the rapport with us, and we're more than glad to work with you on giving you what you need to run your business.
Sure, and that's why I'm here. I mean, is there anything specifically between now and when a formal vote will be held that's needed?
I mean, if he wants to come sit down and talk with the mayor and I, he can come sit down and we'll report to the rest of them. But I mean, I'm the one that made the motion last time, and
Right. I mean, I would understand if there was going to be sort of a overarching, sweeping ban on the games, such that there's just no opportunity for any business to have them, and that would be a discussion for a later date. But because that's not the instance that we're dealing with now, again, I just want to emphasize that if that opportunity is available, which it sounds like it is, then obviously, you know, all we can do is kind of stay in a holding pattern to figure out, well, what else specifically do you need from the business?
that's it, honestly. I mean, I've made a great relationship with the guys that run the shortstop up here, and I had the same conversation with them. If I could outlaw the gaming machines totally inside the city limits, I would. But they tend to not allow things to happen in their store that would get the police involved on a daily basis. But I sat at home tonight or this afternoon with 20 pages of call records from law enforcement from that address. So, I mean, it just doesn't look good, and we don't want that here.
All right. Anything else? Any other
Mayor, Council, I would point out, and this was one thing that was discussed at the prior meeting, city code only allows 6 Class B coin operating machines in a single location. And at the previous application, one, we didn't know what class it was, but the application was for 8 machines. So it couldn't have even been granted if we wanted to.
All right. So obviously,
And it
6
says 9 on here.
B.
Yeah.
Yes,
6
it's
is
not.
max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Correct.
6 Class B, unlimited Class A's,
Yeah.
but only 6 Class B's.
So does he need to go back and edit this now? Go back
I mean, I can just say on the record that, yeah, orally, that it's knowing that information. That
Yeah,
it
I mean,
should
if the council decided to vote to approve, they could condition approval upon a maximum of
certainly,
6.
yeah.
There's no need for a formal amendment.
Okay.
Jody, if we were to approve this and everything's fine for a while, but then that criminal element starts happening again, can we vote to pull them?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Our code has provisions that if there's any violation of local ordinances, that can be ground for, suspension, withdrawal of the grant permit.
And that's my
Okay.
understanding.
All right.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you for your
Thank
time.
you so much
Have a
for
good
coming.
evening.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay. Do we have anyone signed up for citizen input?
We do.
We do. Dennis Adams.
Dennis Adams, 457 Cali Lane. I've been coming to quite a few of these meetings lately, and I hear a lot of spending. We gotta do this, we gotta do that. I see a lot of price increases going around. A lot of the stuff I don't think is necessary. I've been saying for years, why don't we just look at what we're walking on, our sewer, our water? Everybody wants to plant a tree, put a sidewalk in, plant flowers. Not needed. And I think that is gonna come true. Just 2 weeks ago, I was in getting a haircut, and Becky was distraught to say the least. She could hardly cut my hair. That's why I look like this. 2 people went in and told her that her sewer line was broke. Her water probably can't be fixed either. And maybe she should think about closing her business and moving on, or rent a chair somewhere. That was very, very unprofessional, uncalled for. It could have been handled in a better way. And in closing, I'd like to say, and this is my own personal feelings, do we need a city manager? No. That belongs mostly to the mayor and the people up in front of me. Do we need a city engineer? No, by no means. I went back and looked at that mess in the back of the building. It could have been fixed. rather quick. I'm done.
Thank you.
Joe Piper.
This is Joe Piper. Some of the same concerns as far as I'm concerned. Now, I thought I knew everyone up there, but I really wonder because y'all voted against a lot of stuff that was brought up before. This was one of the places that was voted down. I wanted to put new ceiling tile in. When I was mayor, no, we don't have that kind of money. I said, if we put money into our facilities, then we can raise the rent. The answer was no. We don't want to tax our citizens. So, since you all took office, you've raised our millage, and I don't think there's a lot of people in this city that knows how much that's going to cost them. But they will. Come November 1, and if they're okay with it, that's fine. I'm not. I'm not made of money. I didn't run for office because of the money, and I don't have a lot of money. I did my best. There was a lot of opposition when I said that we needed an accountant. I hired an accountant with an MBA in business, administration, and accounting. That's the reason why this city has their audits up to date. But I got a lot of opposition, and there's several of you on that council that said that she wasn't worth it at $76,000 a year plus benefits. But we got the audits done in my 4 years. Now we're paying $82,400 plus benefits, and there's no masters. There's certifications, but there's no masters. Then we turn around, we don't have any water being produced in this city, not one single drop. Shut down the spring. Haven't had the 54-acre lake has not operated in 6 years. But we turn around and we spend $100,000 for class 2. And there are people on that council when I was in office that are on that council now that didn't feel that $52,000 a year for Jordan was adequate because y'all couldn't control him, but you wouldn't give him the job officially as a director. If it would have been a director, then he would have been whatever you all needed, or the mayor, he would have responded to either or. So just in 2 positions, $250,000 is what this council is spending. I don't get it. We're not producing water. That means we're buying more from the county. And they're not going to give us a better deal because they negotiated a 10-year contract with a 5-year out. So that means that we're going to spend the $3 per thousand, which is what was agreed on. And now we're going to put in an automated gate because I guess we need somebody to push a button instead of getting out of the truck and closing the gate like they used to. You're spending money on all of the community centers. That was something I agreed to and wanted to do. But no, there's nothing wrong with our community centers. And anybody wants us to deny it, go back and look at the videos. They're all there. They can easily see who supported the city and who didn't. But the Castos used to do the fireworks. All of a sudden, they're not doing the fireworks. So we're spending money on everything that we want, but then we have to turn around and beg for what we need. It just don't make sense. It really don't make sense. and you're spending my tax money the same as everybody else in this city, I think y'all need to really take a second look.
Thank you. Zella? All right, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor? This meeting is adjourned. Who